The news, good evening. The governor of the Central Bank of Seychelles has said that the country's expenses will have a catastrophic impact on its reserves if we are not careful. During a press conference this morning, Governor Caroline Abel said that the expenses being done are not sustainable considering the economic struggles that the country is facing. She says that everyone, including the government, needs to know their priorities, especially when it comes to foreign exchange transactions. For the time being, the bank says it will maintain its monetary policy rate at 3%. There is only one positive COVID-19 case in the country. This is the Seychelles woman who arrived from Dubai on Monday, the 19th of September, and was tested positive 8 days later. During today's press conference, the Department of Health said that the woman is still at the Perseverance Isolation Center where she is recovering. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gedeon, has also confirmed that the death of the Seychelles man who was working at the Kempinski Hotel at Belazar and who died earlier this week was not related to COVID-19. Meanwhile, the foreign couple who was in isolation at their hotel on La Digue have also been discharged.
And once the tests have been sorted out, they'll be able to travel. On the testing front, we have done this month over 4,000 tests, almost doubling of last month. And the number of tests we are doing are increasing. We expect that October will be even more. And resources allocated to testing needs to increase as well. And as of 1st of October, as of today, the new list of countries comes into effect. There are 32 countries on the list. There's been few changes. 3 new countries are on the list, and 2 have been removed. And we also have what we call the special status countries. For the Seychelles who are returning to Seychelles, they may return from any country. From permitted countries or category 1, they go in home quarantine, and from other countries, they go in facility quarantine.
The former Chief Justice, MATHILDA TWOMEY, formally handed her resignation to President Faure this morning. Mrs. TWOMEY, who was appointed Chief Justice in 2015, promised at the time that she would serve a 5-year term only. She says her mandate has been rewarding and fulfilling, but there were also difficult moments.
I strived over the past 5 years to position the judiciary as an equal partner in government. It was not easy. The first few months, the first year was particularly difficult given the political situation in Seychelles. There were a lot of pot shots taken at the judiciary, open criticism of decisions of judges, unbridled criticism. And it was at the back of that I requested a meeting with the Speaker of the National Assembly and the President, and we met here at State House. And it was an agreement that we hammered out that we would respect each other, and we issued a statement about that. And I think after that things improved, and I am glad to say that although everybody says, and it's a general statement, that the judiciary is the weaker partner because we are vulnerable. We don't answer, we can't answer. You know, we don't have the right to answer as you do. We speak through our judgments. So even when there were personal attacks made against myself or the judges, we don't have the freedom as other persons to respond. And that was part of my speech yesterday. I explained that. You know, that's why we need respect for the judiciary, because when you don't, it brings down the whole institution. So I hope people have learned from the experience as I've had. I've really learned from the experience. I've journeyed as best as I could. And I hope I leave behind a stronger judiciary to face the threats that I've talked about.
The Meteorological Authority says heavy rains experienced yesterday was because of a low-pressure system in the northeast region of the inner islands. In total, 172 millimeters of rain was recorded last night at the Pointe-la-Rue station, which is more than the usual amount of rain that the Met Office normally registers for the whole month of September. The Meteorological Authority's CEO, Vincent AMELIE, says that in their previous weather forecast last week, they forecasted possible rainfall for this week, but they were not sure of its intensity. Mr. AMELIE says even though we experienced heavy rainfall yesterday, it does not change the weather forecast they did for the next 3 months, whereby we will experience less rainfall.
There's nothing wrong with the type of rain we have experienced, even if you will say that we are in the dry season, because September is considered a dry month. It happens sometimes, not every year, but it happens sometimes where we, especially when moving from one season to the next, a transition season, month, where you have such situation. You will recall that we said that October, November, December, we expect less rain because La Nina will be La Nina will be affecting our region. La Nina normally brings less rain. This has nothing to do with the rain that we experienced yesterday. The seasonal weather forecast covers October, November, December, and the rain that we had yesterday is for the September. So I want to assure the population that our forecast still stands. It's based on science.
And following the bad weather last night, there was a power cut on the PUC feeder, and this resulted in an interruption in SBC AM's radio transmission. According to the manager of the engineering section at the SBC, HERVE, they went to assess the situation this morning and were able to restart the system. AM radio went back on air at around 8:45 this morning.
The engineering section was informed early this morning that the Radio CCL transmission was off air. This was linked to a brief power failure which happened early in the morning, I am assuming. This is the PUC feed to our equipment. The main thing is that once we lose the PUC supply to our equipment, we also our transmitter will switch off, and for that matter we will need manual intervention to restore the transmission. So this is attributed to actually this PUC power failure which switched off our transmission. Currently we do not have a generator or a backup supply for the AM transmission here at Union Vale, and due to that it's expected that if there is any interruptions on the PUC supplies, our transmission will suffer.
Several activities have been organized today to celebrate the International Day for Older Persons 55 years and above. A special mass was held at the Saint-Roch Church at Bellhomme, a mass which was well attended, especially by ladies. And this morning, at least 50 senior citizens from 9 old people's homes, they went to Silhouette to take part in several activities there. They are also spending the night on the island. And with this, we end this summary. Have a pleasant evening.